Hey guys, welcome back to Little Piece of Heaven Farm. I'm out here in the garden. This is my winter squash, Sweetmeat. And they didn't get very big this year, but I got a couple of these. Anyhow, I'm going to replay a video that I did a few years ago and turn this into a sweetmeat pie. It tastes exactly like pumpkin pie, but a little bit sweeter. And sweetmeat squash is definitely a lot meatier than a pumpkin. A couple inches thick, sometimes get up to 3 inches. But seeing how the size of this, it's probably only 1.5 inches thick. But still, it'll make an awesome sweetmeat pie. All right, let's go ahead and show you this replay of this video that I did a few years back and turn this into some pie. Enjoy the video. Bye. Well, I'm back in the house and got my sweetmeat squash. It's a winter squash. Takes all summer to grow, and it's best if you leave it outside on the plant through the first frost. Then you go ahead and harvest it. I kept mine in the old so-called solar building. Anyways, we gotta get this cut up and put it in the dish here, and then we'll put it in the microwave for a while to cook it up. This is a very hard squash to cut, so be careful. Yep, here's those seeds. We'll just dry them out and store them through the winter, and come spring we'll get these growing for next year's crop. There you go. That should yield about 2 cups. Okay, I'll put this in the microwave and get this cooked up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, the squash is all cooked up. Be very careful when you take this cling wrap off. I'm gonna get burnt by that steam. Okay, I'm just going to scoop the squash out in this measuring cup. I need about 2 cups. Okay, there you go. Got about 2 cups of squash right there, and the rest of this here I'm going to have it for lunch. Okay, I'll get the rest of the ingredients out here. Well, actually, I'm going to let this cool down some. In the meantime, I'll bring out the rest of the ingredients that I need for this pie, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I've got all my other ingredients sitting here ready to go. 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of cloves. And you want to preheat your oven to 425. In a 9-inch pie pan with some pie dough at the bottom. Right, first up is the evaporated milk. It's a 12-ounce can, but I went ahead and poured it in the measuring cup to make sure it was 1.5 cups, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this up and pour this in slowly. Yeah, I've got the 1/4 cup of brown sugar mixed in there already, and some 1/2 cup of white sugar. To a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now a teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of ginger. Quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. About an 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, ground cloves. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that blended together. Our last ingredient is a couple eggs. And these eggs here came from our chickens for salmon farrows. Still laying eggs in the winter. Alright, get that well blended together. Now just go ahead and pour this into my 9-inch pie pan. Okay, now let's pop this in the oven. Be very careful not to spill it. Okay, you let that bake for about 15 minutes, and then you reduce the heat to 350 degrees and bake for 45 minutes. All right, I'll come back when it's all done. Okay, reduce the heat to 350 for 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, you use a toothpick method to see if it needs to go in there longer. I see you when 45 minutes is up. All right, the time's up. I'm going to do the old toothpick test. Nothing stuck to it, so it's ready to come out. As it cools, it will settle down a little bit. There it is, my version of a pumpkin pie made out of sweetmeat squash instead of pumpkin. Alright, I had the pie chilling in the refrigerator for a few hours. Let's go ahead and cut into it. There you go. Sweetmeat pie. You make this and everybody will swear it's pumpkin pie, but it's made out of sweetmeat winter squash. I like to have a little Cool Whip on top of mine. Well, anyhow, thanks for stopping by here at Little Piece of Heaven Farm and checking out how I make my pumpkin pie, which is actually not made out of pumpkins, it's made out of sweetmeat squash, winter squash. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.